You've probably seen it before, a crypto coin that seems to pop up out of nowhere and its price just skyrockets by thousands of percent. It makes you wonder, right? How does that even happen? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of these stories and see what's really going on.
So, let's get right to it. The big question we're tackling is what on earth is behind a 9,000% gain? We're going to use a specific asset, Mog Coin, as our case study, to really get a feel for the mechanics and the story behind these huge numbers.
All right, so let's meet our contender. The coin at the center of all this is called Mog Coin, and it is a fascinating example of just how wild and unpredictable the world of meme coins can really get.
So, what is it exactly? At its heart, Mog Coin, or MOG if you're looking at the ticker, is a digital asset built on the Ethereum blockchain. It's what we call a meme coin, which means it's basically a cryptocurrency born from internet culture and jokes. These things are famous for being super volatile and powered almost entirely by their communities.
Okay, now for the part of the story that put Mog Coin on the map. We're talking about a price jump that's, well, kind of hard to wrap your head around. There it is, 9,000%. That's not a typo. That is the kind of number that just makes you stop what you're doing and say, okay, what is going on here?
So, just to be super clear, we're not looking at this as some kind of investment advice. Not at all. We're looking at it as a fascinating market event. This crazy surge is what we're analyzing today. What can a move like this teach us?
A price surge is one thing, but to really get the full picture, you have to look at another huge piece of the puzzle, and that is the coin supply.
And yep, this number is just as mind-boggling as the price surge. Mog Coin has a total supply of over 420 trillion tokens. That is trillion with a T. Just an enormous number.
So what does that even mean? Token supply is simply the total number of coins that exist. Think of it like this. If you have a pizza with 4 slices, each slice is pretty big. But if you cut that same pizza into 1,000 tiny pieces, each piece is going to be really small and cost a lot less.
And you know, having a gigantic token supply isn't unique to Mog. It's actually a pretty common playbook for a lot of meme coins. The whole idea is to keep the price of a single coin incredibly low, so people feel like they can buy millions or even billions of them for cheap. It helps create a feeling of being part of a huge community.
Okay, so we've looked at Mog's price and its massive supply. Now, let's zoom out a little and see how it compares to another meme coin. This helps us understand where it fits in the broader crypto world.
Now this table shows a really important distinction. On the surface, Mog Coin and a newer one like Wiki Cat look the same, right? They're both meme coins, but they're built on totally different foundations. Mog is on Ethereum and Wiki Cat is on the BNB chain. So why should you care about that? Well, the blockchain a coin is built on is kind of like its home operating system. It changes everything, from how much you pay in fees for a transaction to how well it plays with all the other apps and services out there. It's a really fundamental part of what the coin is.
So, we've seen the incredible surge, but with that kind of potential reward, you know there's got to be some serious risk. Let's flip the coin over and talk about the other side of the story.
You know, the funny thing is, the very things that make Mog so interesting also define its biggest risks. That extreme volatility we saw with the 9,000% surge, that absolutely massive token supply, and the fact that it's competing in an incredibly crowded space, all of these are huge factors to consider.
This leads us to a really important question you have to ask yourself. A 9,000% gain is amazing, no doubt. But anything that goes up that fast can often come crashing down just as hard. So, how does that kind of insane movement affect the long-term stability of, well, anything?
So what's the bottom line here? After looking at all of this, what should we take away? Let's try to break down what we actually know versus what is still a big question mark.
Here's a pretty balanced way to look at it. On one hand, we can observe the facts. It's a meme coin, it lives on Ethereum, it had that huge surge, and its supply is massive. But on the other hand, the big why is still a mystery. We don't know the exact spark, the one viral tweet or community push that lit the fuse. And because of that, its future is a total unknown.
And that really leaves us with the ultimate question for any coin that has a ride like this. Are we just looking at a flash in the pan, a moment of pure internet hype that will be forgotten by next month? Or is there something more to it, something with real staying power? That's really the core question to think about.